robots. We had several students there that are on our FIRST robotics teams. And a portion of that event, the kids got to run robots. They had a robot training area where the employees at GM practice maneuvering the robots. And the students actually got to line up, and any student that wanted to got to maneuver these massive robots that place windshields on the cars or doors. And so those are experiences we don't have an ability to set up for our kids. They create robots in competition and in our pre-engineering courses, but to actually have an opportunity to be working with a massive real-life robot that trains employees on a daily basis that was just a once-in-a-lifetime event for those kids.
Yeah, one job, man.
Being in there was totally pictured differently from how I thought it would be. I liked the environment in there. Everybody was more friendly. My tour guide knew everyone in there. I loved seeing the laser welding. This is something that actually interested me, all the robotics behind it. Just being behind the scenes in general just showed me a different picture of what I do outside of working on these cars.
The benefit for the students, all of the surveys that they turned back in to me, I didn't personally have the opportunity to speak to them, but I know on their surveys that they turned back in, almost all of them were positive. It was a good experience. They saw things that they had never, number one, expected to see, but two, it opened their eyes to a lot of things that they weren't aware that you could do or that were available to them. I know that probably some of the salaries of the employees shocked them, and some of the opportunities, the different types of jobs that they had, that they were very surprised at all of those things. It was a good environment for them to go and see and to be in, and they were just very excited. So.
Floorboard get put in it, the rear trunk floor.
One of the gentlemen that we walked around with talked about how far you have to put a screw in to actually have it hold. And he was telling us that a screw has to go in 3/4 of the way for it to have a hold. And so off the top of his head, he was rattling off the math for if it's a 1/2 inch screw, it has to go in this far, and if it's a 3/4 inch screw, it has to go in this far. But kids were actually able to see how math relates to what those people are doing every day on the job site. So there was so much combination of here's real life math, here's a partnership between a mechanical piece and a human piece, and then of course they talked about a lot of the same thing we talk to kids about. It's important to be on time. It's important to have a good attitude. It's important to come on your game. Their employees actually have to stand together on the assembly line for 7 minutes before the shift that's leaving actually gets to walk away. And they talked about all the challenges that happen if somebody's not there, because they need to turn that job over. And so our students got to be able to experience that. We tell them it's important to be at school on time every day and that it's important to do your homework. But to hear from the work line, what's that natural impact or consequence when you don't come to work on time, when you skip a day of work? So I think everything from academic to the behavioral piece of how do we live our lives goes back to the classroom. And those teachers will utilize that experience they had that day, not only with the students they brought, not only with the classes they currently have, but that will serve as a point of example for them for years to come.